Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Tuesday, the 19th day of September, 2023, Tuesday of the 24th week of the year, the 24th week in Ordinary Time. It is also my mother Janet's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. So where I'm coming to you still from Priest Retreat, again, all this week in Wrightsville Beach. Blockade Runner is right behind me over there. The sunrise coming up over on that side, my right, your left, how we're looking at it. But over here is the Intercoastal Waterway, which is on the other side of the kind of island inlet that is Wrightsville Beach over here in this part of it. If you look over here, if you've never been here before, so there's kind of more or less Wrightsville Beach on the land side of the Intercoastal, and then the causeway that leads you to it. There is the causeway leads you to Wrightsville Beach right over there. So a beautiful morning, a very temperate morning. Finally, it's a cool morning after so many days in which it was over 90 degrees very early in the morning. So it's quite beautiful, quite lovely, quite quiet and peaceful here. So again, for the Priest Retreat, you know, this is a good thing in many ways. So it's day 2. Continue to keep in your prayers. Priest of the Diocese of Raleigh. It's always a good thing to keep them in prayer. But today's readings. Today is also the day in which it's Saint Januarius. He's an optional memorial, but for the Napolitan, for the people of Naples, it's a very important day because, again, his blood continues to liquefy on this date somehow, some way, and that prevents Vesuvius from erupting again or some worse calamity from happening to the city of Naples. So let's hope that continues today. But our readings for today, the letter to Timothy now gets into the nitty-gritty of what it means to be a bishop. And so many things are revealed because it's not only just being a bishop, it's also the nitty-gritty of what it means to be a deacon. So presbyters, priests are not mentioned because they were a later addition. So that's always the important thing also to remember. Priests don't arise, although we're having a priest retreat today, until the bishop realizes he cannot do all the work that he has to do, and so he has to appoint others to kind of minister in his place, because the bishop was supposed to be the one to oversee. Now, why not make more bishops? A good question. Why not make more bishops and just leave it at that and not have this gradation of leadership within the church? But that is another question perhaps to ask God once we move into eternity. But as the letter to Timothy reveals to us, bishops and deacons, kind of the first positions of authority, an authority that is based upon care, authority that is based upon the ability to serve others. In bishops, again, the whole question is always being married and managing a household. Again, there's no celibacy yet in Paul's time. It does not come until later when property issues come into play, and that is the reason why you get celibacy. Again, it's not some kind of wonderful, noble kind of decision to make, although we try to tool it in that way. But a bishop had to be married only once. Again, the sense in which it was never asked if the wife dies or anything like that. But, you know, the question about, you know, presenting, you know, a different kind of way of understanding life and relationships than perhaps the Roman world understood them. The wonderful thing about the mention of deacons is that women are mentioned right there in Timothy's letter. Women are deacons. Women also had to serve. And why? Well, because of the necessity, you know, of being able to, first off, baptize, you know, women naked, is that propriety's sake. It was not something that you would allow men to do, but women had to do this. But also because women understood the needs of women, period. And so you would have to have someone who was a woman also to be able to minister to the needs of women, which, again, celibate men are not necessarily able to do so. And it's, again, another realize, you know, we try to sugarcoat everything and make it all kinds of spiritual, but we have this wonderful letter to Timothy that basically shows that things were different and that things maybe should continue to be different or return to being different within leadership within our church. The gospel for today is the raising of the widow of Nain's son. Nain, kind of a suburb of Capernaum and Nazareth, and a woman's son has died. She is a widow, so there is no one to take care of her if now her son dies. So she is lamenting the fact, again, that her son is dead, yes, but also lamenting the fact that now she is basically a non-person because there's no way to take care of her. And Jesus, recognizing that, basically brings her son back to her, and as it says in Luke's gospel, gives him back to her. Again, because this is a God who does not want to take, but a God who gives, a God who constantly gives. And that is what Jesus is demonstrating in this wonderful healing that happens, in this return of life, and the healing again of a broken familiar relationship. That what God sees as necessary, God does. And Jesus brings back back, this widow's son. Again, it leads to amazement. Again, and that's always the thing. Does it lead to faith? Does it lead to something more that's an understanding of what it means to be a part of God's life? Not clear, but the people are amazed and continue to be amazed always at the supernatural things that Jesus does, but they are just the surface of much deeper understanding, a much deeper wonder, much deeper beauty of how much it is that God cares for us. A blessed day, St. Francis and people of God. Keep the priests of the diocese in your prayers. May the Lord give you his peace.